Here we go. Surprise new stream. It's gonna be like record-breaking short stream today. Vast majority of you will not have even caught me live streaming, not even putting out the notification. But my intention was to stream yesterday. Got caught up in some stuff, and I'm really busy today. But I wanted to make it up to you guys with some exciting recent testing behind the scene. So I've been, obviously, well, not obviously, I told you guys the other day, I was originally testing Scourge Arrow and Scourge Arrow Menace. Ballista, no Ballista. I was off the heels of going the Assassin, Cast on Crit, Detonate, Dead, Poison. It was an okay build. Decent single target, decent clear. The unfortunate thing about poison builds is they have 1, 2, or even 3 layers of delayed damage, which means you actually have to tank stuff, which is never really good for a bow build. Doesn't suit its strengths too well. Omlas, good morning. How you doing? Settle in. I'm narrating the quick update story. Alright, so then, let's see. I started thinking, you know, maybe I'll just go back to Elemental of the Spectrum because I was running that poison build. I was running all 3 different poison builds. The Assassin starter, which I had set up. The best variations of Scourge Arrow of Menace, which I had set up. And then the Elemental of the Spectrum starter, which I've done a few times now, set up. And go figure, the instant damage, instant freeze Warden was the best overall. Especially because it can just completely abandon defenses, basically. But then I got to thinking, you know, it would be nice if I could maybe just tweak it a little bit. I'm thinking this time around I might try to, like, rush Fizz to Cold Convert Tornado Shot. So I thought maybe I could do that with Ice Shot. At first, I was testing... I was trying to basically make Elemental of the Spectrum with Ice Shot instead. But it was kind of scuffed. One of the nice things is that Ice Shot has 60% Fizz to Cold conversion automatically, and then you can get 40% more here. So that's pretty nifty. You can check the description of the stream if you want to see the POB for this. Right here, which has been updated. Nobody has seen this, but for a second there I was trying Tincture version 2, but I'd never tried this before. It's something that I actually like. Dropping Enduring Suffusion to get one more really strong Oath setup, either Oath of Spring or Oath of Summer, or potentially Avatar. The uptime on Tinctures is kind of low, can be made up for in large part by doing this. Komodo says getting conversion on the gloves is better. Yeah, probably. I was trying to, at the time, trying to make some easy gloves. I would have to sacrifice at least 1 passive point to meet the suppress that I would drop. So that's 1 loss point there, and then I would effectively lose the Benchcraft, because the Benchcraft would have to be swapped over to Convert, which means I would be losing some stats there as well. So, you know, I don't contest that it's not a bad idea. Try to save 4 points there, but, you know. Well, I mean, I'm barely like I would be under Fire Res cap, for example. If I lost the Fire Res too. But it's not just that. You know, very, very tight build, trying to get it set up nicely. Although I don't necessarily need that Fire Res, because apparently this is 100% uptime anyway. I don't think these points are a waste either. Like, the first couple are a little weak, but I mean, this point ain't weak for For ice shot build. Whoa, we're not doing temple mod. No. This is League Star vibe. I'm not doing temple mods in a... This is a League Star build, dude. We're not gonna be like fracturing temple mods here. Or even trying to like build off of them. That's crazy clap. That's crazy talk, dude. I don't first of all, after last league, messing with a 2-modded bow that had decent weightings, 25% chance of success. Took me 14 recombinates. I lost like an entire day worth of progress trying to recombinate 2 mods together that supposedly had relatively high weightings. So, not a big fan of recombinator myself. Not a big fan. Also, it also means you have to engage with King's March mechanic quickly. So, I'm sick of the recombinator. So sick of it. I'm not going to say it's an absolute trash method to get a league starter, but I'm heavily biased against it. Trying to use that as a league starter. Anyway, let's see here. We got a pretty strong version of the build. Let me just show you. We're gonna show you ice shot first, and I'm gonna try tornado shot for the first time. This is cooldown based tinctures. Tinctures will not have full uptime. Not too bad. Not too bad. Got it, yeah. I'll go buy a real invitation. Divine Orb. Our palace finished your temple. Nice, congrats, dude. Very proud. Wait, I didn't even know you could... Hold up, you can make these rare? What? 3.28. Well, I have an absolute monster league starter idea, although it's very, it's kind of all in the whole. Let's just abandon defenses and just go insane on offense. So this has more damage than anything I showed the other day. That's all your builds? No. I last league's build, I had a ton of defense for bows. I had like I had over 30k max fizz hit on a league starter last league. As far as like more like elemental hit spectrum, yeah, that was kind of, but this is far more. This is just like off the deep end. It's like 2,800 live, 3.5k max visit. Like, don't give a shit, because you're just not ever going to get hit. You're presumably not going to run Delirium. Delirium would be dangerous. T17s are easy, as long as they're non-delirious. And same T16, you probably could you could probably even Uber Boss on it. I don't know if it has enough damage to just blitz an Uber Boss, but not all Uber Boss. Sorry, Uber Bosses that don't have... Anytime you face an invulnerability phase where you have to take incoming damage, you would be screwed over. Delirium, you'd be pretty screwed over. But just about everything else, you'd Yeah. Pretty good. Yeah, go look at my league starter last league. Go pull the POB from it. That was I mean, as far as bow starters are concerned, that was a very tanky bow build. Coming from me, at least. Coming from me. We got a fortress map. Might skip 3.28. Well, I didn't do much on 3.27, so I'm relatively excited about 3.28. Just because this is like been the least amount of PoE 1 I've played in a long time. In the last, you know, since 3.26, I guess. Paper touched. Probably not going to be very good for this setup. Have to be real fast. Some of the ground effects would be pretty rough. I'm going to try to apples compare this for you guys. Yeah. Could run that, but I want to show no defense mods first. Okay. Do a T16 breach or Legion first. Less AoE. You can see the life drain with the tincture. I can go up to like 50 stacks or so before I turn it off. It's actually pretty high uptime. Then it's like 8 seconds down. Like right now it's down, but you can see my damage is... I can obviously still kill stuff. But I actually have like 7 times the damage or something like that when the tincture is up versus down. It's like a few million DPS when it's down, but it's like, you know, 30 million DPS or something when it's up. Maybe not that much, but... pretty high. So it's like super cooldown based. That's why I kind of want to go absolute blitz damage with tornado shot potentially. But this is pretty sick with ice shot. We'll see how fast this guy dies. It's a double inspired learning setup. Now the tornado shot setup will not be double inspired learning because I have to use more passives. It'll only be one. Actually, inspired learning is not really League Star viable anymore. As of last league, it's like really expensive for some reason. We got a lot of split arrows going off of the ice shot with the fury valve. Arrow made a build like this, but his was for totems, but I don't really like totems that much, so we get the delayed damage. Yeah, this is fury valve. So that's a tier 16. That's what it can do on legions. Show you a tier 17. The boss doesn't really have any HP mods here. The dangerous mob types, but doesn't really matter. Everything's frozen anyway. This is even beyond. Like, you would never run beyond on this strat. Like, that's just stupid. Oh, I'm cheating, apparently. I got the... Yeah. I still had a stolen buff. Usually I don't have stolen buff. I had literally the best stolen buff there on the Headhunter. I'll actually do another map. That was misleading. How do you stall single target? Mostly tinctures. Take that one for the other test when I actually have that mod blocking. Double inspired learning. Yeah? Alright. I don't need them anyway. This they don't even mean anything on this test. This is a tier 17 boss rushing. I mean, it did on the last map. Like, it's not... That's for, like, legions. Legion farming. I don't need that for this. This is really bad mob types with bubbles. Yeah, that's fucking terrible mobs. Katava heralds and bubbled mobs. Ugh. Can I explain why Legion's so good at League Start? Hold on. Somebody in chat can, I'm sure. I mean, he's barely even doing any action. Oh shit, I forgot I don't have to call. I literally stopped attacking. He barely even does anything. It's 50% action speed. There you go, no inspired learnings. Literally, like, if I had no inspired learnings, this is all basically wasted shit, because I wouldn't even go up here. There's so many things I could do with these stats more than that. That's just for inspired learning. Why are you playing PoE 1 and not PoE 2? Stop playing for 2. Because I still like PoE 1. I'm not all in PoE 2. Oh, shit, I can't exit. Yeah, so anyway, that is, that right there, that's tornado shot. We'll do, not tornado shot, sorry, that's ice shot. I'll do one more since some of you weren't here with the boss a second ago. We can start with that. Dude, this bow is not that special, dude. There's no extra projectiles. This is easier than triple elemental bow. Without projectiles, even. Come on, dude. The bow is the hardest item to get out of everything here. Well, maybe not counting inspired learnings, but... Coil shot of cloudburst with fury up? No, that sounds really bad for single target, especially. Gotta wait till the very last second. Wait, what? What? Glitched the fight. Okay, now we go back to the... Oh my god. I got glitched. Yeah. Anyway. Now... I mean, that's some pretty good damage, I'd say. My inspired learnings really helped there. Now I'm going to show you guys something that I'm pretty sure is actually... As crazy as that was, that's nothing compared to what I'm about to show you. If I'm not mistaken. So, let me set it up. Not exactly sure how leak start viable this quiver is, but it's off Katarina. It shouldn't be that bad. A bit harder glove to make here. If we go tornado shot, does that leech from clusters? No. Just this. Right here. That's it. So with tornado shot, you don't get the 60 auto conversion. So now we actually have to do this. And this. I'm actually 5% over convert. Evidently, unnatural instinct is cheaper than inspired learning. You guys know that? At least in the first couple days of the league. But I'm going to do this setup now. Still the same as far as like pure burst cooldown based tinctures. but actually getting Oath of Winter and Oath of Spring in without needing the Forbidden Flame Flesh combo, which is obviously not League Star viable. That's a cool idea. This idea has got me kind of excited because I know how strong Oath of Spring and Winter are for Tornado Shot with Fizz to Cold conversion, Tornado Shot with a little bit of lightning damage, and at the start, later on we'll get Fizz's extra lightning, but at the start I'll just simply convert a little bit of it over to lightning like this, which conveniently gonna have to do a double roll convert anyway, so that works nicely. So like 80% of my damage is converted to cold, roughly. I guess it would be like 76 or 7. Yeah, I think like 76% damage converted to cold, 24 to lightning or something like that. Do I have a guide for Deadeye? No, I think Deadeye is inferior to Warden, like categorically. After early Atlas progression. The fact that the Warden, Deadeye to Warden play rate is like a 10-to-1 ratio is laughable to me. But I'll just let people keep on doing their thing and I'll do my thing. Not gonna lower enemies' resistances this time around. I'll do the convert. We are going to lose an inspired learning. By the way, for some reason, Ensnare Arrow actually works with that Ice Shot build, if the Tornado's out for some reason, which suggests that enemies are actually getting hit, then splitting into the Tornado, then splitting back into the enemy, which I didn't think would happen, but there's not really any explanation for why Ensnare Arrow would actually ensnare enemies single target, but it definitely does. I've confirmed it, because you have 2 additional splits with this. The snare is actually a huge amount of increased damage on a build like this. If it works. Normally you can't make it work though. Get 6 life per hit with Tornado Shot. A little bit different. And the other leech is here. Point blank. That's a player here. I think I need that. Yeah. This actually deserves its own tech video. I didn't kind of realize this, but I have almost 100% uptime single target on all my flasks. I do on the middle one, for sure. If you actually go the prefix charge recovery, you get 3 flask charges every second. And there's no internal, like it's 3 flask charges for each flask. In this case, with this one, I have 2 flask charges, but I get even more flask charges because it's the only source of crit. So this one just fills up instantly. But, no, even like the silver flask, I get at least 2 full uses of this single target with this setup. It's actually pretty cool. A moral man that said I never played Deadeye, always went Raid or Warden. Felt like better packages than Deadeye to you. Yeah, I don't know. I think the Warden is slightly better than the Warden is 20 to 30% stronger than the Deadeye, with Elemental Hit of the Spectrum and all this stuff, with the same amount of buttons pressed, really, other than occasionally pressing Avatar of the Wild. However, once you open up Tinctures and you really, like, dive in hard to it, especially if you do what I'm doing here, where you actually don't take Enduring Suffusion, which means there's there is a give and take there. Like, for example, I will have 8 seconds of downtime when I'm doing a lot less damage. But the burst damage potential is just so effing insane that, I mean, there are certain points where I'm probably doing at least, probably doing like 2 to 3 times more damage than a Deadeye would be doing, single target. And probably clear as well during that uptime. So the question becomes like, how long can you sustain that with like enough leech, life on hit? I think with Tornado Shot it'd be really good, because if I go life on hit plus leech, on this I'm gonna be able to go like 50 to 100 stacks of this before I have to cancel out of it. Which leads me to my next new interesting player, which I didn't even realize I could run until today, which is Legacy of the Wilds. Tinctures at 40% increase effect while at or above 10 stacks of mana burn, which is most of the time that tinctures are up. But you've never seen that before. It's a secret anoint. Secret. So that stays. Chain. I don't know if I have chain. I switched to Warden on the 4th lab. Or sorry, on the 3rd lab. I actually like it better than Deadeye, even straight out of the campaign. Because the reason why is because if you're playing a bow build like you would typically be playing it, you are like so utterly giga glass cannon in white and yellow maps that it's almost hilarious how glass cannon you are. And so the Warden, actually having the Warden tech for Oath of Winter with Element of the Spectrum there, it just turns it into a complete breeze. So you can like continue just running maps with negative elemental res, like it doesn't even matter. I mean, yeah, you might occasionally get ripped or something, but you're not doing delirious maps anyway, so it's not that bad. I just remember like both the single target, I mean, you have to kill map bosses, you know, so your single target actually matters while going through the campaign, because you're basically just rushing to a map boss every map. And the clear is comparable, at least. I think all of this is identical. No, actually, I would do regular Storm Rain. Storm Rain. What level Storm Rain? I need level 8 Storm Rain. By the way, the last version of the build had something some interesting tech I'd never used before, but I was using Lightning Arrow with overcharge support and power charge on crit to get to actually have like somewhere around like 25 to 35% shock effect when I would normally only have about 5 to 10. So just for the price of a 4-link, was able to do that. That's kind of cool. I don't know if you guys ever seen that before or not. Now I'm not going to do that because I'm running Oath of Spring. So I don't need Lightning Arrow or Overcharge or anything like that. Said you've been a Warden enjoyer since the Raider rework. That's how I found your channel. Well, I'm about to turn some heads this league, maybe, if this thing's really doing what I think it does. I always thought it was weird how, like, Warden Fizz the Cold Conversion Tornado Shot Tinctures is, like, orders of magnitude stronger than, like, the strongest Deadeye Tornado Shot build I've ever played in the past. So it gets me thinking, like, it's obviously not easy to rush Fizz the Cold Convert Tornado Shot as like in the context of league start, but the payoff is so freaking huge that I feel like it might actually be worth it. Like, you really do have to have your ducks in a row to pull this off, but that's how I make league starts anyway. Or just league start is like elemental hit the spectrum. You just try to switch as fast as possible, basically. I'm probably actually going to skip the whole ice shot thing I showed you. I don't think it's going to be necessary. The only thing that was kind of in the way of it really is, well, this quiver. And slightly harder glove craft. The bow is going to be identical. The body armor is basically identical. The boots, identical. Everything else is identical. The neck is actually cheaper. 2 tamings instead of 1. I mean, I think it's going to be manageable. Alright, so here I'm going to do Frenzy and Snare on top of each other. So Ensnare will work for sure here because I just have a few additional projectiles, but I don't have any global chain, fork, or pierce, so Ensnare should actually be kicking ass on this setup. I need Immortal Call. I can actually get the... I have a 4-link. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do with it. Also a little sketched out on life tap. If I don't use life tap, it's almost my entire mana pool to use that setup though, so. Life tap combined with... It's just one thing on life tap. So life tap could kill me here, but I mean, it's only like 200 life or something, so. Talking about like the combination of the tinctures with that. We need that. Oh yeah, actually a crossover here. Kind of an interesting route I'm taking. Never built a route, never done this route before on a bow build, technically. 15. Oh yeah. Do all these. Conversion with Lucky Alva. I mean, you wouldn't get attack speed then, because you'd have to, unless you're gonna like Eldritch Craft in attack speed or something. I just don't like the idea of it very much. The chances of you actually being able to roll some good gloves, like if you could start with Alva Convert gloves with a good life roll, and then an open prefix, you can maybe justify Eldritch Crafting in 1 decent suffix, like a you know, tier 2 res or something, and then you compare to these gloves, you wouldn't have attack speed, but you would save some currency not needing the meta mod. But I mean, this is pretty easy to hit. Like, you would annul 1. It's not that hard to hit something like this with the attack speed essences. You know, any res and life, and with an annul, and then you clean, that's clean, and you just hit it. That's not hard. All of these rares are pretty simple to make. They're only like, they're 3 modded. Every single rare is 3 modded plus bench crafts, and 2 of them are meta modded bench crafts because they matter more. So like, there's a bunch of different approaches. You could be starting with fractured items, for example. Then it would be super, super easy. You could roll rarity on top, actually make this legit magic find. Oh yeah, I need a lower flame dash. Right. Not a big deal. I'm pretty excited to see this. Think about it. I came on the stream for like 1 hour just to show this. What? No! It's gone. Killed it. Oof. Fine. Tornado shot. I believe I have to buy this gem. Tornado shots not league start viable. Remember that, guys. We're breaking all the rules today. Can you post crafting guide for those items? Yeah, this time I plan to, although that's kind of at the bottom of the priority list. The truth is, there's like a bunch of different ways to craft it. The best way will be live searching these items essentially on trade. Like you can probably get like the same 3 rolls here already pre-rolled on all tier 1 on gloves if you just live search and pay almost nothing for it. Like, and you'll have maybe maybe you'll just have like a veiled roll mod on it or something like that. In this case, I guess you can't really cheese it too much because you actually need to double convert, craft it on there, so a bit of an outlier there. Alright, so I'm currently level 92. That is not right. I'm missing 2 points. Am I missing points? It's all there. Ah, here's one. More proj speed kind of matters. $93. Ah. 10% OR effects, actually pretty good for 1 point on this build. Thoughts on the additional prog from forked projectiles passive notable? No, I've looked at this, but I've never really thought it was good. No. Mainly because it's just more lag inducing than anything. I think it's the usual reason. Tornado shot should... Alright, storm. Storm rain, right. Okay. Have to be concerned with the cost. Mana cost here. Seven. Huh? Do I have inspiration? Yes. Level 8. That will make it identical mana cost. So we'll go off every 3 attacks. What? Oh my god. Okay. Next is Frenzy is 15. Snaring Arrow needs to be 15. Ooh. Okay. Darn, I'm losing 1% damage taken by enemies. Sad. I think we're ready. Reasonably fast? No, I'm not ready. I got something kind of important. What'd I forget, guys? What did I forget? Tornado shot should be better than ice shot by far. Ice shot may immediately freeze enemies in 1 hit, but tornado shot will be way more like regulated freeze because of the hoarfrost mechanic. No more Herald of Ice on this one. So, terribly inferior, I know. We gotta have Herald of Purity because of the quiver. Yeah, I don't have it. Golem? I did think about Golem. I'm concerned that it would just spam and cost too much mana, though. God. Can't afford it.
We'll make it happen.
Oh, really? I hate the way all this works.
Pairs you might want to tend.
Okay. Pay 50 more. Chaos. For convenience.
You've got affairs you might want to tend.
Do you use log gem in your mana forge setup? Life gain on hit gem? No. No. 86 mana. Alright. Should be good enough. It's a tiny bit low, but I think it'll probably be sufficient. Especially with tornado shot. It's pretty regulated. We definitely got some things costing some mana, though. And if I tried to put tinctures on mana side, too, it just would not work, because they would, like, be up almost never. Quick query. Exciting. Every arrow has the extra arrows. That's crazy. That's so insane how good that quiver is. Oh, man. Mini boss test. This guy should get absolutely annihilated.
You must win this one for me, my champion.
Nathan, come to feed me, champion. A feast on muscle.
Alright, maybe I'm being a little ambitious. Can't eat that hit.
Feast. Come.
Yeah, okay, that is more damage than I shot. Wait, I didn't even have Trinity up. How did I not have Trinity up? Hold on. I didn't have Trinity up either, oh my god. Like not. Oh man, I didn't think about Trinity not being up.
You must win this one for me, my champion.
Foolish maiden, come to feed me, champion.
That's with Trinity down. Okay, I did finally show up at the end. Alright, in maps Trinity we go. Jesus Christ. Back and look at the breakdown. Max fire 182k, min cold 165k. Not close. We don't have a lot of time left. Just kind of deal with it. It was kind of that way with the other version build. There are a few things I can do with it. Like I can roll like a flat fire roll or something somewhere, like on the gloves or some shit. Maybe, I don't know. Not the gloves, I guess. We could get flat fire as a corruption on the quiver or something. I don't know. Or jewels. Abyss jewel, maybe. It's actually not that neat. It's just kind of one of those things you just deal with. Alright, first we run these. Z map. Oh, I can actually do like hexproof and less effective curses is not as bad, as well as the res roll is not as bad. Like this is not as bad either. Leech, I can't do no leech still though. That would I can. I still have 2 mana on hit, but that's kind of shitty. Have I seen Clanification? Yeah, I would have. I did watch that. I didn't watch it like super seriously, but because I felt like it would be nice to go over that video. Oh my god, the damage. What? I'll react to it next time. Don't have time this time. Dude, this was Tincture's down. Wow. One shot from 75k HP, 75% HP with tornado shot. What the hell? Alright, the damage is real. It's actually real. This is an absurdly cheap build for how much power it's dishing out. You guys don't understand how cheap this build. This looks like almost like a mirror tier version of a build, but it's not even like it's not. It's like 20 divines or something. If I remove the inspired learning, I guess. Oh, that's cleaner, actually. For legions, it's even better. The eye shot has a little bit of trouble with the legions because it only has 1 projectile. Although I don't know how this isn't open yet. But okay. Whatever. I don't even have Trinity still. Full Trinity now. Holy. This is with Trinity. This is with Tinctures down. I'm doing like 12% of the damage I normally do right now. This is like 12% damage. Alright, Tincture is on now. This is like 8x damage. It's like complete overkill. Yeah, there are ways to get Trinity to work more. It's just... I'll have to look at my old build. I think I reduced monster fire res or something like that. Yeah, tornado shot is better than ice shot. Yeah. Actually, I didn't verify Trinity was up in the ice shot setup too. If you tried to go in to this map here with a Deadeye, especially with like the bossing damage, it takes a hot second to kill a T-17 boss with Tornado Shot Deadeye on this budget. I'll just say that. The big drama is the attack speed is so much worse. Alright, show me what you got. No Trinity. Guys, that's no Trinity up. That is no Trinity. Also, the big thing with like that fight, you are constantly dodging because the boss is 100%, or well, okay, about 80% action speed. for me is 50% action speed. And never any less. Or more. Never any more than that. Well, this is very glass cannon, but again, the Deadeye you could never get away with this on Deadeye. Like, I would have already died 10 times over on Deadeye if I was trying to do this with how, you know, my 3.5k max fizz hit. But look, that rare right there, that rare would have probably killed me on a Deadeye. But he didn't because he's fucking doing nothing. He's just stuck, frozen, permanently. Trying to just Hail Mary a Legion like this, probably gonna die. No, I did die, actually. I did finally die. To be fair, my tinctures had me at like 40% HP and I got one shot from there. So that was actually what happened there. I don't know if my Immortal Call is doing much here. I'm not really watching it. But you do have to press buttons. You have to use the tinctures. And you actually have to, like, turn off the tinctures sometimes. Alright, well, a little bit dangerous map. I'm gonna try a different gem. I mean, I would use hypothermia, I guess, but no, I'm not going to here. Alright, last thing to do. Let's see what a pinnacle boss looks like. I'm not gonna be doing anything but the Genesis tree now. No, Trinity! God, get that. I'll figure out how to get it. It's too good not to have it. And you're dead. Eh. Yeah, that'll be the next thing I work on. Well, that's, I suppose you guys would like to see a POV of this, right? Probably want to see a path building. With all buffs up. Yeah, well, the path of building assumes you have Trinity up, yes. You guys are gonna laugh at this. I'll show you how strong tinctures are when you actually go all in on them. In a week, we'll see a huge change in the meta, so this may not be viable. What is the change in the meta going to have to do with the viability of a league start, potential league starter that nobody's thinking about, that's completely under the radar for GGG? Unless you think they're about to nerf Tornado Shot next league. I'd say there's about a 0% chance of that happening. Unless it's like a global nerf to everything. It would be like the only thing. Change the other ascendancy. The Warden is one of the least popular ascendancies in the game. Go look at Warden for keepers. It was one of the least played ascendancies. Could see a situation where they changed the Warden, thinking they made it better, but it actually makes it worse. In respect to the way I'm playing it, for example. Alright, so this registers 122 million DPS, but that's with literally everything up, not counting like headhunter buffs and stuff. Well, that's actually only 15 rage. This, for some reason, doesn't work. The anoint doesn't work in Path of Building, so I had to put that here. But watch this, alright? See my damage? If I turn off my tinctures, I do about 12% of the DPS without tinctures as I do with tincture. Because first of all, my crit chance goes from cap to 55%. And then my monster elemental or elemental penetration and elemental damage just gets completely gutted as well. And attack speed. Attacks per second go from 5.49 to 3.48. $12 million? Yeah. Dude, if you're like a racer, you could have this in day 2. This is a day 2 viable build for an actual racer. Like somebody who's really, really, really good at the game. Like 6 to 8 hours. Like 6 hour 2-stone player who doesn't sleep. This is easily day 2 viable. Not me. I don't play like that. I'll have this by the end of day 3. Probably. Day 4 at the latest. My understanding, this bow, given that there are a lot of possible outcomes, like you're basically trying to hit either attack speed or crit while also hitting either flat cold or hybrid, or percent fizz or hybrid fizz. Also, you could fracture any one of those things and make this bow way easier. Given all of those variables, this bow is obviously minimum 2 divines. If it's not fractured, it'll probably be 6-link pre for like half a div. So assuming you don't fracture, it's like 2.5 div there before you're rolling it, really. And I think it's something like 200 essences to hit 100 to 200 essences to hit one of those decent combos. Like I said, maybe tier 3 instead of tier 2. But you do have to annul, probably. So yeah, if the Genesis tree is still strong, it'll be really good. This is probably this is definitely south of 10 divines bow. It's probably like a 5 div bow, given like all the possible outcomes of slamming flat fizz into it. But for sure, it's like minimum 2 div, unless you start with a fracture. Like, I think I had another example of one here. Keep in mind, this is not with additional arrows or anything. There's also this one that is not even... This is like almost as good. Like, look at this. I mean, that's not going to be that hard to hit. It still has a crit chance at 96% without a crit roll at all. So anyway. You can go pure elemental bow, by the way. Not that much worse. I don't know how much this is going to cost. This is a pure mid-roll, but minion damage, so it's 40% increased damage. Wouldn't necessarily have to have that roll. Wait, I'm actually missing... Oh my god. I just realized I'm missing a fucking... You wouldn't want to fudge on that roll. 3 additional arrows. If you take off Heat Shiver, you see how strong Heat Shiver is here. If you take it off, you lose a massive amount of damage. It is elemental ailment avoid capped, 20% from the tree, plus 80% between the gloves and the boots. It is 105% conversion, I think, given the stats that are here. Tamings, mid-roll tamings, straight down the middle. Mid-roll tamings, no more than 1 div each at any point in the league, unless it's like the first taming on the market. The amulet is nothing. The belt is basically nothing. Heat Shiver, I'm not expecting that to cost much. No more than like 20 or 30 C, probably. The body armor, you presumably start off with it 6-linked. Obviously, the implicits could be a little bit expensive hitting these. These are all greater. No grands here. They're all graders. Boots, glove, and body armor are no more than 2 div each. I don't think. Based on how, 3 modded plus a benchcraft or whatever. Or sorry, the gloves would be plus 2 div because of the meta mod. I really don't know what the quiver is on day 1 or 2 with this, but I mean, it looks like it's not. I think it was like half a div. It's like random roll. The tinctures, these are eye level 85 tinctures, but they're not bonus quality. You can get like tier 2 on the prefix. It's fine. You don't want to go any less than tier 1 on suffix. You do want to bless it up to perfect or near perfect. Definitely at least 1 divine worth of crafting to hit the tinctures each. Maybe 2. I don't know. Depending on how strict you are on it. The other flasks aren't much. Not counting the jewels, this clocks in, for me, this clocks in somewhere around 20 div. I don't know, I don't think it's that many. Counting the jewels, it's like 30 div. Probably. But if you don't like the jewel, well, then you would just delete these. Or sorry, you would delete this, put 4 points like that. Voila. Almost no difference. So that's no jewels. Same build. Honestly, I might just start it off this way, just so people don't complain about the jewel price. Brand new to PoE, which class or build would be a good playthrough? Very excited to join your first league? Yeah, people probably say Righteous Fire. My builds are always a little bit more ambitious. Anyway, this is still very early in the concept of a build, but I have been exploring a lot of stuff. Definitely going to do something with bows. You can see without Immortal Call up, this is 3.6 max fizz hit. Woo! Oh well. As you can see, for a lot of that content, like you're able to break into, like you obviously don't need a headhunter to do T17 Fortress boss. You could farm boxes, T17 boxes with the boss. Easily. It does have some rarity, by the way. It has, if you have full rampage up, if you're doing like Legion farming out in dunes. Oh, the 100% rarity. And then, these are 3 modded rares, so you could get rarity on the gloves, boots. As well, I guess. Dying Sun would be a pretty big upgrade. You throw Dying Sun in here, that's like 20% more damage. But that is a pretty expensive upgrade, so I don't know. Do you guys include Dying Sun in a league starter? I mean, it does end up being like 5 to 10 div. Like I said, I might just delete all jewels. If I delete the jewels, it really does cap out around like 20 div at the most. I mean, I don't know. To me, this is one hell of a strong power league starter for this budget. Like, you could, I don't know, people love to complain about how I set up Path of Buildings and stuff and, bait or whatever, which part of me just says get over it, but the other part of me says, fine, you could cut the damage in half on Path of Building, and it's still, like, an absolute monster. To whatever you think the budget is of this, and whatever damage you think it really is. You just saw how it performed. Nobody can honestly say that's not actually a pretty insane power for a starter. So very much rides on the idea that the Warden just bypasses the need for defense almost completely. Which does mean certain mechanics like Delirium are super dangerous and maybe a little bit too risky to do, so could temper your expectations for that. Like, this build would really struggle to do, you know, T17 Delirium, for example. Whereas my League starter last league was a lot more well-suited for it. But, you know, Fortress boss rushing, Legion Dunes, you know, this will smash it. Yeah, it's glass cannon. But it freezes everything too, so it doesn't matter for a lot of content. Guys, I have to go. I gotta go. Meeting a friend. Too busy today. Can't, with tattoos, just a blind tattoo, because there's no blind on the build. Then later on, it's like stun and movement speed, and that's about it. Or stun and projectile speed, actually, probably. For this one. Anyway, mirror. Alright, if you have it ready, I'm really cutting myself short on time right now. Gotta hurry up with the mirror on the... this thing. Yeah, you need a mirror. You better... I'm giving you max 60 seconds to message me. I don't want to leave my friend waiting.
Shipment sent.
I don't want to do that. It's a name at Snoo Battle Mage. Anyways, I'm actually going to log off the stream right now. I'm not going to raid anybody. That's how short I am on time. So, we'll not be on tomorrow. Be on the day after, I think. Anyway, guys, see you around. Have a good day. Enjoy your League start testing. And I gave you the path of building. So there you go. See you next time.